Already, what's going on, y'all? It's your man Quincy Whetstone, aka Q Stone, and welcome to another episode of the BeatStreet Podcast. Man, today I'm excited, man. I'm at Bottz World Studios, man, and I knew about him before I met him. We had some mutual friends, man. Shout out to Lower Level, man, and they used to always say, man, hey, man, you need to hook up with this cat, man, just, and whoop-de-whoop. But today I'm at his studio. I met him in person about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So introducing super producer D Bottz. What's going on, man?
What up, Q Dizzle?
Man, how you been, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I'm alive, through this pandemic. Everything else. So, God is good.
God is good,
yes,
man.
He is,
I see you done some rearranging around here since last time I've been,
I done upgraded. I got an assistant now, so
okay, yeah.
She got a woman touch in here.
Right.
We don't care about how the studio look. We just
want to
make. Yeah, we want to work. But she, no, you gotta change it. So I done did a little something.
So tell the audience, man, just give us a history lesson on D Bottz, man.
Man, got started. The crazy thing is, I used to work at Guitar Center. It was 1999 when I first got to Guitar Center, and I went in as just a drummer.
Okay.
I had just started playing keys. Really wasn't into keys. I was making my money doing drums, and didn't know about production. Didn't know about none of that. Ended up getting hired at Guitar Center, and the crazy thing is that new keyboard, the Triton, came out. And so we went to training on the Triton, and I was in love with this keyboard. So I used to come into work every day on my break. I'd be sitting there trying to learn how to program. So one day, I'm programming like this little rap beat. I get a tap on my shoulder like, yo, man, I want that beat.
Yeah.
It's Scarface.
Oh, yeah.
From the Ghetto Boys. So I'm like, I turn around like, what beat? Man, that beat you making on the keyboard. I'm like, oh, this a beat?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was naive because I was a musician. I didn't know about production. And so the crazy thing is that was when Guitar Center would let you rent the keyboard. So he really wanted the beat. He's like, yo, I got, $1,000 for you right now for that beat. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, how I'm going to get the beat? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So here's the story. Every time me and Faye see each other, I end up taking the keyboard to his house. He lived in Lake Olympias at the time. And man, it took us like 5 hours
just to get to
because I ain't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was actually my first beat ever sold. And so from there, man, the career just took off. I ended up doing Zero and doing a little production deal with Rap A Lot. And that really, that kind of opened the doors. Then I did another production deal with Swisher House.
Yeah.
And so, Houston, on the Houston scene, I was doing my thing. And then 2005 came and T. Gray and Charles Chavez let me do this record with this chick named Natalie. She was a Rockets power dancer.
Yeah.
And that's what really took off because it went to number 13 on Billboard.
Yeah.
The Going Crazy record. It just opened up all kind of doors. I ended up flying to New York to meet with Bruce Carbone and Universal did a pub deal with them, and that's when it just took off. I mean, after that, Maya, Fantasia, Latoya, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just been blessed to keep doing this, still 21 years in the game, able to provide that new sound. Because, music is a whole different game than when we first started producing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just, these young kids, my kids really keep me kind of young, because a lot of dudes who produced back when we started, they haven't been able to make that turn.
Yeah.
And music right now is just so simple.
Yeah, man.
If y'all can't strip down what you used to do, you're not gonna really be able to, maneuver.
Man, I had to learn that, man.
Yeah, bro, because these R&B jokers want me to. They don't want no bridges. They don't want no chord changes. It literally be 4 chords to the whole song.
Yeah,
and it's all about the drums. Everything trap, trap and beat, trap soul, trap pop. I'm like. Yeah. But, if it cut the check.
Yeah, come on with it. Yeah.
I'm with it. So, man, just been able to, being blessed to still do this thing. And right now, I got a whole bunch of stuff going on, man. I've been on this app called Clubhouse. I don't know if you heard about it.
Yeah, I heard about it.
And on there, I met a whole bunch of independent artists that just needed direction.
Yeah.
And so on that app alone, I produced like 70 people.
Oh,
and
nice.
Since November.
Yeah.
Like people flying into Houston to come work with me.
Man.
Yeah. So it opened up some major doors. I got another pub situation I'm doing right now with RCA. So just working.
Yeah, it's live, man.
Just working, bro.
So, man, what is the Cookout? What is that, man? What?
So the Cookout is, man, I was in Atlanta LA last year before the pandemic hit, and I was at this writing camp. And they had some A-list writers, quote unquote A-list writers who had all the big songs. They done did songs for Usher and Chris Brown. Then you had like 10 up and coming writers. And so during the whole session, like these A-list writers start kind of talking bad to these because they didn't have the resume or the clout.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for them because like one of the little chicks started crying and the other one left and was like, I don't even want to do music no more. And I'm just sitting there. I wanted to say something, but it wasn't my session.
Okay.
And I know studio etiquette.
Yeah.
Like, Bottz, just be quiet.
Yeah,
so before the pandemic hit, I was like, man, I want to do something and create something to where independent artists and up and coming artists can feel safe and feel creative in their own environment without feeling intimidated and all that. So of course the pandemic hit, that shut all that down. I mean, shut it all down. And so at the beginning of this year, my homeboy came to me. He said, man, what was that thing you was talking about doing? And I was like, the Cookout? He's like, yeah, you need to do it. I'm like, man, it's a pandemic and people ain't gonna want to do it. And he's like, this ain't the Bottz I'm used to talking to because you don't do excuses.
Right, okay.
And he actually I was like, you know what? He right. So I got my little team together, a couple writers. I was like, hey, let's go to Atlanta. Just test this thing out, see what we do, who we get, what'll happen. So we did our first one in Atlanta in February. And it was dope. Like we had Real Housewives pull up, Raz B pulled up, some A&Rs from Mace pulled up. Mace pulled up because we was actually at the studio he records at. He came through. His producer Travis Terry came. So I was like, dang, that was kind of dope. And so after that, I held a meeting with my team. I was like, yo, I think we could really do something with this if y'all down. They're like, yeah. I said, well, let's do one in LA.
Yeah.
And we did one in LA in April. And when I tell you, we did it for 3 days and we had 93 people come.
Man. Yeah.
93 people pulled up. And LA at the time was shut down.
Okay.
But we had people flying from Florida, New York. People were flying in to come to this.
Yeah. And
so after LA, I was like, I'm really on to something.
Yeah.
And so I was like, where y'all want to go next? They was like, let's do one in New York. So we planned it. We rent out the studio space. I got endorsements.
Yeah.
I got some sponsors. I got some Australian millionaires who was like, hey, we're going to take care of the food and take care of this and take care of that,
Man.
And so we did the New York one. The New York one was crazy. And of course, after that, we like, where we going next?
We going next, yeah.
And so they're like, let's go to Miami. Yeah, let's go to Miami. so we put it in play. I got my assistant on it. She booked the studio. We got the rooms booked and all that. People buying their tickets. And so Miami's going to happen next month on the 18th and 19th, and it's going to be crazy.
Man. So what's the ultimate goal of Cookout?
There are several goals. One is to teach.
Okay.
Because we do have like up and coming. I don't like to use the word up and coming. I just think you either are artist or you're not. But those who don't have quite the experience. And then also we do what we call the artist block. That's where if you're an artist and you want me to produce you or you want the team to produce you, you can pay for it.
Okay.
Like you get production, songwriting help, vocal coaching, all that. And I'll mix and master the record. That's all in your package. So one of the goals is to create records.
Okay.
One of the goals is to teach. The third goal is, which is probably the biggest one, is the networking.
Yeah.
Because everybody pulls up. Like the one in New York, we had old buddy who played. He played in Fat Albert. I think his name is Keith Robinson.
Okay.
He came through. Jay Washington from RCA Sony. He's a VP there. He came through. And so you got these young artists talking to VPs and talking to stars and they're networking. Because now I even see them on Instagram comment on each other's stuff. And so they forming relationships. And ultimately it's just to help artists grow in whatever area. So that's my main goal, man, just to see, because, in this game, Q, a lot of independent artists get kind of, spit on.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying not to curse because I want to keep it clean.
Already.
You know what I'm saying? And they do. And so just to see some of these artists, man, if I were to show you some of the testimonials of these guys, there was one guy in LA, and this is what lets me know I'm doing the right thing. He had found out about a cookout by somebody else, and he inboxed me, hey man, I want to come, how much are the tickets, yada yada yada. So he registered, he came, and I saw him in the room. And normally, you know what a studio session like, everybody in their vibe and bobbing their head, and it's a collab joint. Whoever got something to write on the record, get on the record. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And so he was in the corner kind of looking shy like the little kid at the playground who don't have no friends.
Yeah.
And so the beat was playing and everybody else was writing and kind of bobbing their head, and he was just over there kind of murmuring. I said, hey, you hear something on this? He's like, yeah. So I was like, man, get in there, this don't be ashamed.
Yeah, come on,
This is why you here.
Yeah.
So he was like, you sure? I say, man, go. I say, this is my event. I'm telling you to go over there. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you because they don't want to deal with me. And so he went over there and started talking with the songwriters. I went to my other room to do what I'm doing. I come back 20 minutes. He in the booth.
Yeah.
So he went from being the sideline in the booth, and he sent me this message after the cookout, and he told me, he's like, man, I had family that passed during COVID, and I really wasn't feeling creative. I was ready to give up on music. And he said, if I came to this event and it wasn't nothing that kind of helped me, I was just going to quit. I was going to quit music. And he said, this event has, inspired me and recharged me to do music and da-da-da-da. And he's been at every cookout since.
Yeah.
So he done flew across the country. And so that let me know, like, I'm on to something. It's just helping these indie artists learn. And next year when we graduate to the cookout, it's going to be a conference. So I'm going to definitely have you come in when we do one in Houston, because I want to teach about publishing.
Yeah.
I want to teach about copyrights. I want to teach about, like, this new cryptocurrency. You can fund your career with an NFT.
Yeah, okay.
And they don't know all this. This is stuff I've learned.
Yeah.
And so I want to be able to teach, bring these young producers in. No, you don't need to make a beat. You need to learn how to produce.
Yeah.
Because I always say, what's the difference between a beat maker and a producer?
Yeah.
Just because you making beats don't mean you're a producer.
Right on.
Just because you're doing songs don't mean you making records.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. And so I want to be able to teach.
Yeah.
Because nobody's reaching back and grabbing these artists. They just throwing them. They don't have developmental deals no more. Yeah. They want you to have 100,000 followers
already.
They want you already ready.
Yeah.
And a lot of these artists aren't, but they're dope. Yeah. They just need to be developed and taught. And so I want to be one of the people who, headlines developing them and teaching them.
That's live. So is that what keeps you going, man? Because that's kind of where I'm at now. I wanting to give back. It's like you serving with your gift. You using your gift to serve, man.
Right.
And that's live, man.
Yeah, because it's not about the money for me. And people like, you lying. I'm like, look, these first 3 cookouts, I paid for them.
Yeah.
The studio time, I paid for. You know what I'm saying? The food, I paid for. Some of my staff chipped in on every now and then, but it's my event, so I'm taking the bullet. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking the brunt of. I'm not making no money off of this.
Yeah,
I can make money doing beats and studio time and mixing and mastering. So I ain't missed one meal. You know what I'm saying?
Right
but
on.
It's steadily growing because the one in Miami, like, has taken on its own identity right now. Like, people are inboxing like, "Yo, I booked my flights.
Yeah.
What's the studio name?"
Yeah.
And we were favored. We got this studio called Circle House. It's actually a house that they converted into a studio, kind of like we did over there in Acres Home. It got a pool. It got a deck and all this kind of stuff. The dude said, "Well, since you coming for 2 days, I'm gonna just give you the house for 2 days."
Yeah.
And I was like, but I'm only using it, for this amount of time. No, you good. Take the house for 2 days. I'm like, man. Oh, okay. Well, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just, man, when I tell you, it's always worked out. And it's because, like I said, I'm not trying to eat off.
Yeah, that's what it do. That's how it works.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
man.
I ain't trying to gain no notoriety. I'm trying to help these young artists and young producers. So that's really, like you say, that's what drives me. Like, my daughter's an artist now.
Yeah. Okay.
And my son's a producer. So, like, I literally, before you came, just bought my daughter a ticket to come to Miami. Yeah. And so she crying. I'm like, look, this is why I'm doing it. This is for y'all. You know what I mean? I want y'all to be exposed to outside of Houston. Not knocking Houston, but it's a bigger industry outside of Houston. Yeah. And so it took me going to New York with Natalie to learn, like, wow, there's a lot more stuff than Houston. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had done Mike Jones. I had done Z. I was good. But when I went up there, it just opened my mind to, like, wow, it's so much more. Yeah, man. And that's what I'm trying to get these artists to realize. Man, that's live, man. So who all have you worked with? I know you already list some names. Who haven't you? Ooh, Lord. Who you work with? Who you haven't? Man, let's try to go. I'm gonna try to start at the top of my career. Let's see. Scarface was my first beat. So Zero. Mike Jones, Paul Walker, Millionaire, Slim Thug, Billy Cook, Fantasia, Maya, Shay Atkins, Kurt Cobain, Marcus Manchild, OTB Fast Lane,
Yeah.
Man, it's hard.
That's the list already. Yeah,
it's hard to even keep thinking of them.
Right on, man.
Yeah, UGK.
Yeah.
Pimpin' Ken, Too Short, Future. Lord mercy, bro. It's so many. It ain't nobody in Houston I ain't work with. You know, I done pretty much touched everybody down here. So, yeah, it's a lot.
Who would you grow up listening to? What?
You know, the thing about me, Q, is I'm a musical jukebox. I tell people that I had such a wide variety of stuff. I listened to Simon and Garfunkel.
Okay.
I would listen from them to Two Live Crew.
Yeah.
To D'Angelo. You know, I'm a musical. I don't really like genres. I don't like the label genre. I just listen to music.
Yeah.
And whatever mood I'm in, I'm just going to, you know, I could be in the store and it's funny and a pretty much all white song would come on and I'm in there singing it and like the people looking at me like, how does he know all these words to this song? And I just know music. So growing up, of course, growing up in the church, my mama had church music on Sundays.
Yeah.
Saturday was the cleaning day. She throwing on Luther and Freddie Jackson and Michael Jackson. So I had a healthy appetite, you know, and that it comes out in a lot of stuff I produce, you know, because I sit and talk to people and they be like, who is that artist? Who is that? Who is that? I'd be like, get your knowledge up.
Yeah.
It ain't, you know, all you listen to is rap. You gonna be boxing.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? You need to go listen to some jazz. People like, how do you play like this? I listen to jazz.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is emulating what somebody's singing. And y'all don't like genres. Y'all like rap. That's all y'all like. You know, when after the rap portion of the Grammy Awards go off, y'all don't even watch it no more. I'm sitting there watching bluegrass, funk, you know what I'm saying? Pop, rock, acoustic, folk music, you know what I'm saying? I like it all. Yeah. So I had a healthy rap-wise Ghetto Boys, of course. You know? And I told this story the other day. Man, I got in trouble. I got a whooping for listening to Two Live Crew. My mama found the tape.
That Two Live.
Man, my mama found the tape. I had left it out on my dresser. I guess she was cleaning my room. Man, I literally got a whooping. She called me inside. I was outside playing, never forget. And she's like, who tape is this? And it was my next door neighbor because he was older. Yeah. But he let me use it. And I was like, well, it's Kelly. Well, what is it doing over here? Well, I'm finna play it. Nah, mama, don't play it.
Don't play that Two Live Crew.
And of course, the first song, head, booty. Oh, man. She's like, pop, 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 pop. Don't you ever go? I was like, God, I had to go next door. She's like, take this back to him. So I'm walking over there, just got a whooping. I'm crying. Trying to look tough for my homeboy. Like, hey, man, you know, I can't listen to this.
Man. Two
Live Crew got me beat, man. Got me beat. Shout out to Kelly, though. You know, he was real. He kept it. You know, he took on the shit. Next time he see my mom, he's like, I'm sorry I let your son. I said, man, you ain't even have to say all that. You gonna make her whoop me again?
Man.
So, yeah, I listen to everything, man. Yeah. Even in the movies, like, one of my favorite movies is Wildcats. I don't know if you ever seen that with Goldie Hawn and Finch. And it's a song that I sampled, and I have yet to sell the beat, but it was a song by Mavis Staples called Show Me How It Worked.
Okay.
And every time I play that for people, they're like, where you get that song from? I'm like, it's from a movie.
Yeah.
Y'all go watch some movies. It be some dope stuff in these mid-80 movies.
Yeah.
And so I listen to everything. Even now, I listen to everything. So I grew up listening to everybody.
That's what's up, man. Man, you got a story, if I'm not mistaken, when you met Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
And I heard it once, man. Can you share that story, man?
Yeah, so I had just did my production deal with Swisher House, and we had just did Day After Hell Broke Loose, and I did the original Still Tipping, the one with Chameleon on there. And so, you know, my head was blew up. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I'm getting these placements. You know, I'm getting these checks from Rap-A-Lie and Swisher House, and my boy was working with Brian Cox at the time. He was like, "Yo, man, Jermaine Dupri looking for up and coming artists." I was like, "Cool." So I booked me a flight. I was like, "Make it happen." So I get out there. I should have known something because when I got there, my appointment was for 1. I got there early, of course. I got there like 12:40 just because I want to be professional. Man, when I tell you they made me sit for an hour and a half in the lobby, bro. I'm sitting there. I didn't go back to see Jermaine till like 2:30.
Okay.
Which I'm like, cool, this Jermaine Dupri. I'm at So Def. It's all good. I get back there. I think I did like 7 beats. 7 of my dope. I'm like, he ain't gonna be able to. He don't want to sign me on the spot. Man, I'm gonna tell you, he probably played 40 seconds of 6 beats total. and just doot, ejected the CD, handed me the CD, and went and looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Man, you got it, but you ain't got it."
Yeah.
He's like, you need to go back to the drawing board, da 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 da. And I ain't gonna lie, the hood in me, because it was just me and him in the studio by ourselves. The hood in me wanted to hit him because he ain't but this big.
Yeah.
But the G in me just took that like, you know what, Bottz? You thought you was bigger than you are, and it took somebody who had some success to tell you that. So when I came back to Houston, I literally stayed. This was when I was working at Selective Sounds in the back of the record shop, and I didn't sell no beats for like 4-5 months. I didn't book no sessions. I just got in there. I practiced. Yeah. I worked on my drums. I went and bought me a new MPC just to beef up my sound, because I was just like, okay, whatever he said, I'm gonna do. So fast forward 2 years, the Natalie song comes out. Natalie got me, and I didn't know this, man. People be watching them charts and watching the Billboard. That's when Billboard had the actual magazine.
Yeah.
So I go to the BET Awards, and matter of fact, it was the year Mike Jones came out, Paul Wall, and I think Slim Thug, because it blew my mind, man. I went to LA, and on Sunset, all you seen was H-Town posters. Paul Wall, Mike Jones, Slim Thug, all them. And so I was there. I see Jermaine Dupri with Bow Wow and Sierra. This one Bow Wow and Sierra was dating. Now, usually when you meet superstars and you see them again, you kind of like got to refresh their memory, like of who you are. Mm-hmm. And this was so funny, man. It was a surreal moment. So I see him, and I was with Brian Cox and Sean. Brian, little homeboy, he was kind of like his bodyguard. So Cox was like, JD, you remember Bottz? You did that Natalie record, huh? Yeah. That was the first thing out of his mouth. And like, I ain't never been starstruck, or just because I'm just not impressed. Right. You got some breaks, I ain't got the break. It's cool. But I was sitting there just like, wow. Like 2 years ago, I sat in your studio and you told me, you got it, but you don't got it. You need to, go back to the drawing board. That was his exact statement. So for him to say, you did that Natalie record, huh? And I was just like, I didn't even know you listened to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't an R&B. It was more on the pop charts. That's what really kind of changed my career, because I was on the pop side. Yeah. It was a pop record. So, I was like, yeah, that was me. He's like, man, I remember you came through, huh? Yeah. I didn't even have to say, remember I came to your studio. He literally said that, repeated it to me. So I was like, man, Bottz, you kind of making it out here.
Yeah, you moving. Yeah.
I kind of pat myself on the back. Yeah. I'm at the BET Awards, H-Town, represent, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was just like, that was cool. So was that when you knew, like, when did you know you had it? Like he said, when you played them things, but like, when did you know that you had it? I tell a lot of up and coming producers, I think because I started playing drums first, I didn't have like the learning curve. When you listen to some of my first tracks, you be like, oh, Bottz, you really? They could be placed now. And I'm not saying that to brag. It's just, I kind of knew how to put them together. I just, I didn't have that struggle of like, I don't know how to do the drums, or I don't know where the bass line supposed to go. You know what I mean? I didn't have that struggle. Of course, I had to learn some different things about production, and not just doing 8-bar loops and muting certain parts. But the difference is I played a lot. Yeah. So I covered up. I didn't have to sample. And that sampling is back big now. When I started, that's when Kanye was coming out, Dre was coming out, Just Blaze. So sampling was big. So what separated me, I ain't got a sample. You know what I'm saying? Whatever y'all sample, I'm playing it and making it sound more organic. So I would say after I got that Natalie placement and saw my name in Billboard, that's when I was like, okay, you got it. Yeah. You got it. Now what you gonna do with it? Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I kind of, I've never been a braggadocious person, and people say that kind of haunts me. I never was the guy at the club, you know what I mean, popping bottles. Maya, when I got to work with Maya, shout out to Maya, because Maya is like my homegirl now, because I had to chauffeur her around, take her to the gym, take her to eat, all that kind of stuff. And so working with her, just kind of showed me a different. Maya was the first session I ever fell asleep in. Okay. Because we started the session, this is one of my funny stories too. We started the session at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday. It didn't end at 6 a.m. on a Thursday. Hold on, let me get, okay. One session. Yeah. I took about 5 naps. Yeah. And the crazy thing about Maya knows how to record herself. So She's so sweet. I'm like, man, look, I gotta take me now. Go ahead, Bottz. She go get the mic. She come put the mic by the thing. I record myself. The crazy thing is, I think she stayed up that whole time. I don't know if she napped when I napped.
Yeah.
But every time I woke up, she was working.
Yeah.
And so working with her was another staple because the story about me meeting her, Maya had came to town. She was kind of signing a deal with Jay Prince.
Okay.
That's when his son had just started Empire. I think that was the name of it. Young something. I forgot the name of it.
I'm not sure.
But they were starting that. And Maya's manager at the time was recruiting beat CD.
Okay.
So he said she got off a plane. It was a long flight because she flew from overseas, and he played my beats, and she didn't like none of them. But he said he knew Maya. He knew she was tired. She was drained. He said the very next day when she first woke up, he played the exact same beat CD, and she was like, "I need to meet him."
Yeah.
So here's the story. I'm in Atlanta working when Maya comes to record the song. So he texts me. He's like, "Yo, where you at? Come to the studio." I'm like, "I'm in Atlanta. Well, Maya on your record." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Maya?" He's like, "Yeah." I say, "Dang, I wasn't supposed to leave till like Friday or something. It's like a Wednesday." I'm like, "Man, I'm finna pay this $100."
Yeah,
I literally booked my flight within 3 hours and flew home.
Yeah.
So I fly home. Maya's in the booth at Mad Studios. Shout out to Mike Mo, Corey Mo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're my boys. And she's in there singing. And so she sings a wrong note. I hit the talk back and I say, "That ain't how that go." And you could see her kind of creep from behind the mic looking like, who is this telling me, Maya, what to do? And I said, "It don't go." And I sung it. I was like, he goes, "Yeah," whatever it was. And she looked like, "Okay, I'll try that." And so she did it. She finished her verse. She come out the booth and she's like, this is to answer the question because I'm coming full circle. She's like, "And who do I have the privilege of meeting that's giving me instructions?" I was like, "Oh, I'm Bottz." D-Bottz? I was like, "Yeah." "Oh my God, I love your beats. I love your beats." So that's another moment I was like, I done kind of made it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, you got it.
You know what I'm saying? So that I did all that to come full circle to answer the question. So them two moments, even the one with JD, was a moment where you're like, okay, Bottz, you pretty tough.
Yeah.
So
man, so you was in LA, New York, Atlanta. You done been all these places. What would you tell, like, what's the importance of you moving around and getting out your city?
Man, and you kind of got to go biblical. And there's a scripture that says a prophet is without honor in his own house. And it's just that, and it's not just Houston. I have learned this. So if you listen to this and you watching this and you just saying Houston don't support Houston, every city you go to, all the artists feel the same way. I use Mike Jones as a big example. I recorded Still Tipping. That was when him and Magno used to have a group. Okay. Magno. They was bleeding Houston concerts. Everywhere there was a concert, Magno and Mike Jones was there. No love. No love. He went up to Dallas one time. One time. Yeah. And they just will start going back and forth to Dallas. So the people don't understand that Still Tipping broke in Dallas.
Okay.
And the Dallas DJs at the radio at the time called back to Houston like, why y'all not playing this Mike Jones? This is where he gets his name from. People don't want to understand this. They was like, who?
That's it.
That's where he got who Mike Jones, because the story got back to him. So that's also kind of the way he did when he's talking about now I'm hot. Y'all on me, y'all back then, y'all didn't. He's not talking about women. When people think he's talking about women, he was talking about the city of Houston. Because it took Dallas to stamp him. Yeah. And then Houston was like, oh yeah, we like him now. Well, him and Magno been bleeding the concerts at least for 2 years, because I was signed to Swish House for 2 years. Yeah. And I know they was doing it for 2 years, every Friday, every Saturday somewhere. It wasn't until he went to Dallas, and Dallas was like, we love Mike Jones. And Houston like, oh, we like him too now.
Yeah, that's what.
And I always say Houston is a bandwagon city. It's not a bad thing. It's just when people come to me like with R&B, they like, what you think I need to do? Get out of Houston.
Yeah.
Why? Name me one R&B that came out of Houston. Beyonce. Where does Beyonce live? New York. Name me an R&B singer that came out of Houston that live in Houston. And then when I say that, they all trip because it's like, Kelly's in L.A. LaToya's here now, but she was in L.A. at the height of her career. And it's not nothing, no knock against them. It's just, Houston is a slower pace. And that's what I was telling you. When I went to New York, it messed me up. Yeah. Because I saw this chick do a song in like 30 minutes. verse, hooks, stacks, and she recorded herself. It blew my mind because I'm sitting like, dang, it take us like 3 hours in Houston to do something. And it just showed me how the industry just moved. They moved. If you walk around downtown in Houston, everybody kind of slow.
Yeah.
You go to New York one time and watch how these people moving. They just moving. And so my advice would be to see how other people in the industry move. You know, Atlanta, of course, is the Mecca right now. And you still got New York and LA and Miami. That's why the cities I'm doing my cookout in, Atlanta, New York, LA, Miami. So it's because there's a plethora of artists. You know, people always like, I want to make it, I'm going to move to Atlanta. Well, just because you moved to Atlanta don't mean you're going to make it.
Right.
But you have a bigger chance because the industry is different out there. You know, and the one way I tell people to look at it, like, look at major record labels. How many we got here?
Right.
You got, what, Rap A Lot? They don't do nothing no more.
Right.
Who you got? We don't have none. We got a bunch of little labels, but you go to Atlanta, when you go down I-85, there's a big sign with Jermaine Dupri with that afro talking about, welcome to my city. We ain't got no So Def here.
Right. So
you just kind of look at that. Each city has a different climate of music. So Houston is we slow, loud, and banging.
Yeah,
bruh.
Slow, loud, and banging, man. All in the trunk.
We the city of serve.
Yeah.
We're known for rappers. And gospel. Houston is a gospel and rap city.
Yeah.
R&B is gonna be hard to make it. Pop is gonna be hard to make it. Soul is gonna be hard to make it. It's not the climate.
Right.
And so I get all these artists and I'm like, look, you just got to go out there and I'll send you with somebody to network. Go do a show in Atlanta. And they come back. We did our first cookout. It was 3 artists, Brendolyn, Maurice, and they all was at the cookout and they did a show in Atlanta. Standing ovation. I done seen Brendolyn do the same song she did at this show down in Houston and the crowd just kind of looking at her.
Yeah.
And so it's every city. It just is. It's like, because I know you, so I'm not gonna support you. But once somebody else co-sign you, then I'll support you. Yeah. You know, and it's a TikTok that says, why didn't I blow up? And then the dude said, because you ain't share my music. Why you ain't share my music? You my friend. You say you my, you know. Yeah. And it's true. It's just true. And I've seen it. When I started my podcast, I've seen, you know, people not support, and I support everybody. Yeah. Whether I like you, I still support you. Whether I like your music, I still go buy it. Don't mean I'm gonna listen to it, but the fact that I sowed the seed of support mean it's gonna come back to me. Maybe not from you, but it's gonna come back to me, and it's gonna come back greater. Yeah. So, you got to get out of Houston, man. And that's not just Houston, because you worldwide, Q. Whatever city you in, go visit other cities. Go network with other producers and other artists in other cities. Yeah, right on, man. Man, so let's talk about some Bottz production, man. This is the BeatStreet Podcast, man. Man, so take us through your process, man. Do you have a certain way you make your beats, or just whatever it is that day? Well, most 90% of the time I'm gonna start playing a melody. I don't listen to a lot of music now. The only time I really listen to music is when I work out. Okay. I put my playlist on Billboard Top 100 because that's where I want to be. Okay. I don't really listen to a particular artist, or I buy the album. I done bought so many albums that's in my iTunes I never listen. I don't listen to. I just bought the album. And so when I get in here, whatever I just kind of hear. And lately I just been in some pop, trap type vibes, you know, because Houston music got its own sound, and you know we graduated a little bit, but I don't do a lot of Houston. You know what I mean? Right on. You know the Pimp C's are gone. And the Big Mics are gone, and you know that sound is kind of gone. It's dated. Yeah. And so my process, I sit down. Then usually after I do my melody on something, I'm doing some drums. Yeah. And then after that, I'm just building. Yeah. And you know like I said, we in this strip down mode, so I don't build too much. Yeah, right. Especially when I'm sending beats to artists, I just give them just enough because they can't write around a lot of stuff now. You know what? I keep telling people, when I first started producing, the big sound was in. Yeah. Big bridges, big strings, big piano. Then we got stripped down to the snap movement. Yeah. The mid 2000s to the early 2000s. It was snap. You know, that was the snap movement. Yeah. So we got to that. Then after that, you kind of transition to the big synths, like the runners. Yeah. Scott Storch.
Yeah.
The early 2000s, them synths came in, and so I've seen that. And now we're back to a stripped down. So I've went through just these movements and I just have to adapt.
Yeah.
Because I be wanting to play piano riffs. I can do that all day. And some people still impressed by that. But these artists don't want that.
Yeah. You right, man.
They want an 8-bar loop, mute this time, mute this time, mute this to bring this back in, and that's what they want.
Yeah.
And so, but music is coming back.
Right on. So what you using to make your beats with now?
I got my Jupiter 80. Of course, I got some plugins. I use one of my favorite one is Codex.
Okay.
I use Element. Use Omnisphere. I don't like to use it a lot because the industry has worn me out on it. Okay. I said this year was gonna be the year I didn't do no vocal samples because last year they just wore me out on vocals. every record. It's just vocal samples everywhere. Yeah. So I use that. I got my drums. We write drums now. We don't even use MPs no more. We just grid them out. Yeah. So I'm still producing in Pro Tools and Logic and Ableton. Yeah. Most of the time I just get in Pro Tools because I'm too lazy to do it in Logic. Then have to import it to Pro Tools. Okay. So that's kind of my process. Each track is different. I try to get away from I tell these producers get away from using these loops because it kills your creativity. Yeah. Why use the same hi-hat pattern 4 songs in a row? Right. Just create you one. Yeah. Music is so wide open right now. Yeah. No hi-hat pattern is wrong. Yeah. Whether you want to go tit, 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 or brrr, it don't matter. Just quit using the same stuff. Right. Quit using stuff people send you because they done already wore it out. Now you wearing it out. And so, I try to be creative with every track. I give its own identity, its own drum pattern, so they don't sound the same. Right on. Man, you was jamming I got excited earlier because you was jamming some jams earlier, man. Can you run one of them jams for us, man? Yeah. My computer shut down. Yeah, I was playing some Houston stuff. Let me play my Houston. This is kind of my Houston sound. All right. It's called Pimpin'. Hey. That's like a pure H-Town sound right there. It's just gritty and it's... Shout out to my boy Kerry Mike on bass. Gotta use live instrumentation. That's H-Town. That's them Pimp C organs. Hey. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we good. Yeah. Man, that's what I love, man. I love a good beat, dog.
Yeah, man.
A good man.
See, you play instruments, so we just have a different approach. Yeah. To ain't no sample in there. Yeah. My homeboy sent me a guitar riff, and I built from there. Yeah. Organ, strings, live bass, and that's that H-Town sound. Because I'm never gonna forsake my home. Right. But it ain't too many people that's gonna go get that. Yeah. But I did that literally just because, like, when I do interviews or I'll do live, like, this is for my city.
This is Man, that's fun. Man, give us another. What you got, man? What that you over there kicking up with, man?
Look, I was listening to Juicy Fruit from Matume one time. Okay. And so I was like, I want to redo that joint. So I put my D-Bot spin on that. Hey.
D-Bottz,
That's music, man.
Man, you be on that synth bass, bro.
Yeah,
You be on that synth bass.
I like to now one of my processes is I will play live bass for like 48 bars.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of it sounding like a pattern. I hate a pattern sound because that's what everybody uses now. So I'm gonna play bass at least half the song.
Yeah, man.
And then chop it up through the record.
Man, that's bad. That's it, bass funky, man. Hold on, we up in here jamming some Bottz beats up in this thing, man, on the BeatStreet Podcast, man. Man, so what? How important it is to learn how to play something? I mean, to just learn what you like as far as the keys or whatever. How important it is?
Well, I have 4 mentees, as they call them right now, that are producers, and none of them could play keys. And I didn't tell them to be. I said, I don't need you to be Beethoven, but I need you to be Timbaland, because Timbaland can sit down at a keyboard and he gonna be lost. He just is. If you ever watch any of his videos, Timbaland used to bring in musicians to play different stuff, like Don Johans and all them. And so I tell them, you don't need to know. I played at church, so I can play every key all the time. I can do all that. You need to learn one scale. I say get you one scale and learn the theory all in that scale. Majors, minors, sevenths, and ninths. I ain't tell, because if you learn that one scale, then you can transpose. Yeah. And you can play in every key. But I need you as a producer. You're gonna want to know, because there's no sense in you producing for 5 years and you sending me a track with your 808 in one key, your piano in one key, and your synth in another key, and like, what you think? I think you need to learn what scales and what chords go together. Or learn the guitar, either or. But I didn't make them, but I heavily influenced them. Like, yo, you need to learn some music composition. Yeah. I'm not telling you to be Beethoven, but you need to know what chords go with what bass line. Right. You need to, especially if you're gonna try to graduate from trap to like R&B. Yeah. You need to know what goes with what, because if you don't, we done heard train wrecks. Yeah. People send me something to mix, and I'm like, man, what the 808 and C. The chords is in D major, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? But I think it's important. Are there dope people who can't play a lick? Yes. Samples right now, and with the new software where you can just drag keys, and what's this new one that everybody's using? Output. Yeah. Output has piano riffs. Yeah. For days. Yeah, yeah. And so you can compose a whole song not knowing how to play. Yeah.
I just found out about Splice in January.
Too. Yeah.
I'm like, man.
Splice too. Splice. I did a track last year for my boy Kayla, man, and I used these horns. I need to find it. I got to find this, because I want you just to hear the horns that I got from Output. Okay. I had Output for about 6 months, but I got rid of it because it made me lazy. Yeah. Because it took my creativity, because instead of me sitting down doing what I know to do, let me turn this on and just find me something. But while we talking,
go ahead. Find this, this the BeatStreet Podcast, man.
I want you to hear these horns. These horns on these joint is crazy, and I got them from Output, and it was the last track I did from Output, because I was like, I can't do it. I stopped, because I was like, man, I can't do it. I can't do it. What's the name of this song? I know. I think this is. You got to hit just the horn pattern in here is crazy. And I used, you could tell them the tempo, you can tell them the style, you can tell them the key, and it's hundreds of things to choose from. And it's like, it makes you lazy. Yeah, yeah. Because I could have created a horn pattern, but let me just pull up this program. So it's just, it made me lazy. So I want to pull it up so I can really section out these horns on this thing called Output, because that was the last track, and I probably did like 15 tracks with it, and I start seeing myself be lazy. Yeah. Instead of me coming in being creative, I'm coming in going to the plug. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, that's how Spice had me with them drum patterns, man. Because I like, man, I can just go and have my drum pattern done. I can just start working on the music.
Yep. It just make you lazy. It makes you lazy, man. I'm like, nah, bro, I can't do it. I can't do it. So here, I want to play this because the horns in here are actually from that Output thing I was talking about. Oh, hold on. Let's see. I forgot I did a performance track for this guy. Let me do this real quick. All right, so listen to the horns in this. This thing is crazy.
This is an OG call. This is an OG.
Yeah.
G. It's Kayla. I know.
I don't even want you to hear the vocals. I want you to hit the phone. Listen to these horns right here. That's all from output. Now I could have played it.
Man, come on.
But you feel like you sitting there with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
So now I'm not knocking it because it made this track. But when it comes to sitting down and going, like I said, going straight there, it's like, Bottz, you better than that. You know, you're not these young cats who can't play or is not creative. I ooze creativity, not just music, just period. Yeah. And so I unsubscribe.
Yeah. It's like another tool.
It is.
But
when you from what we build tracks ground up.
Yeah.
And it started feeling weird. I ain't gonna even lie. I felt like, man, Bottz, come on.
Yeah. Hey, I feel you though. I feel you, but like, man, I got it's
it just I think it handicaps you because it's almost like auto-tune. Auto-tune was never meant to be a plug-in for every song. Right. It was meant to be an additive or a help. It's a crutch for people who can't sing.
I wasn't using auto-tune forever.
Yeah.
I got it when I opened up this over here, and everybody who come in who trying to sing
auto-tune,
they want it now.
Before they want to record with the auto-tune.
I'm like, okay, so I got to go and learn it.
How you a rapper?
Yeah.
And you singing?
They want
but that's what music is.
Yeah. They want to sound like that. Man, let's jam one more for them D-Bottz beats, man. It was one you played first. It was like a little smooth groove.
Here you go. This one right here. Yeah. Yeah, that was the one you was like, ooh. That's that pop. That soul. See, them organic tracks like that just feel better to me. It's just like...
Yeah, they do, man.
Live percussion. That's me in the booth shaking, doing shakers. You know what I mean? Live stuff.
You can feel it.
That's like some Justin Timberlake type stuff. Yeah. So well versed, like I say, I don't lock myself into any genre. I produce it all. You know what I mean? So
man, you inspire. Every time I come over here though, you inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing. Don't try to cut those trends will try to draw you in, man, because you want to get with it. You want to get with what's going on, but that ain't what makes me happy. What makes me is hearing stuff like that and just continue to make that type of stuff, man.
But I mean, the first time I heard a beat from you, Lower Level, shout out to Sid and Fred, and I was like, man, I say them real guitars. I was like, who is that? Oh, that's our boy Q Stone. I was like, man, I like him. Because he, it was organic, and that was at a time where we just starting like the stripped down music. About 10 years ago. When I heard that, I was like, oh man, I like Q. And every time I heard you, and you do organic type music, which is wonderful because everything is so syncopated now. That when you hear other producers who can play and do that, you appreciate it.
Right on, man. So what would Bottz today tell 20-year-old Bottz
Ooh.
about in the industry, about the music, about or whatever?
What would I tell him? I would tell him stay humble, because I told you once I started getting a little clout and I think it set me up for that whole Jermaine Dupri experience. You know, whether if I would have been more humble, I think I would have had a little bit more success. Because even at the end, I was turning down people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, Bottz, I want to do. Oh, and you can't rap. I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
Just because I had a little clout, and so I would tell him remain humble. The wonderful thing I can say in my 21-year career is I've never had the diva artist.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I don't have the experience of not getting along with somebody in the studio, nor do I have the experience of the no Vaseline treatment from anybody. You know, I think so. It's not a lot of bad things I can say about the industry. You know, people have a lot of bad things to say about like Rap A Lot and all. And I'm like, they gave me a publishing deal.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all got, but
yeah.
Me and Jay good. Every time I see him, we get a hug and we talk. You know, we good. So I've been blessed to just be able to do it and not have that bad experience of somebody messing over you. Yeah. I learned the game early. You know what I mean? I learned about publishing. So I don't have what somebody owe me money.
Right.
Or somebody took my beat and did. I don't have that. So
I don't.
I would tell them stay humble and stay learning.
Yeah.
Always learning.
So if that, because I use it as lead one word. Is that your word? Just lead one word with the people, man. Just whatever.
Man, look, be great or be great at it.
Already, man. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, man,
it's a lot more
pleasure.
I can go with the time moving, man.
It's all good. We can do part 2, man.
Already, man. It's your man Quincy Whetstone, aka Q Stone, and this was another episode of the BeatStreet Podcast. Already.